Hey guys, welcome to Power Yoga. So, this is going to be a workout. So, if you're ready to work out and break a sweat, then you're in the right place. This is an intermediate to advanced level class. This particular video will be more intermediate than advanced, but the reason why I have it that level is because we're going to consistently move. Again, you're going to be breaking a sweat, and sometimes in person, we'll practice a little bit more advanced style yoga poses. Sometimes it's just preparatory poses in order to eventually get to those advanced poses. But again, we're only going to do intermediate today. So if you want to join, you'll need 2 blankets or towels are fine too if you're at home. And let's get started. So you can sit down comfortably any way you'd like on your mat. I like to sit cross-legged. And we'll begin with our eyes closed. Let your shoulders melt down the back and feel your spine grow nice and long, like the crown of the head is being pulled upward towards the sky. At the same time, feel your tailbone root you down into the earth. Now take a moment to do a physical body scan. What sensations come up and where? Ache here, openness there. Keep the list going with everything you're experiencing physically right now. Now check in with the mind. How's the mind doing right now? Does it feel calm, busy, lethargic? How are you feeling mentally right now in this moment? And what emotions are you experiencing today? Is there one in particular that stands out? Observe your breath. Don't change anything. Just observe it. Notice how it feels as it flows in and out. Does it feel forced, shallow, free-flowing? Let all of that go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going, internally counting. After your next exhalation, breathe normally. Let your breath flow in and out without force or reservation. If you would like to come up with an intention or goal for your practice, such as building strength or endurance, now's a good time to do that. Let this be your fuel for your practice when things get challenging. This will help keep you going. Softly open the eyes to return back to your space. Now we'll bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right fingertips down towards the ground. Inhale, find some more length in your spine. Exhale, start to twist, eventually looking over the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And full exhale. Inhale, return back to center. Switch sides, right hand to the outside of left thigh, fingertips down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. 2 more breaths. Inhale, return back to center. Exhale, roll onto hands and knees. If your knees are kind of sensitive, you might even wish to grab one of your blankets. Keep it folded at the center of your mat. That'll be your knee padding. Come into a tabletop-like position with the knees underneath your hips, palms underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. From here, we're just going to tuck the right toes, extending the right leg back, and start rocking yourself forward and back using the leverage of the back toes. Switch legs, lowering right, extending left. Come back to your tabletop position. Inhale, let your belly drop, lift your gaze up. Exhale, round your spine, let the head and neck release. Inhale, belly drops, lift the gaze. Exhale, round, chin towards chest, push the ground away with your hands. Inhale, energetically pull the hands back towards the knees. They're not moving, but they're just pulling your heart forward. Exhale, round. Continue on your own, moving fluidly with your own breath. Next inhale, return back to a neutral tabletop position. Walk your hands forward about one handprint, tuck your toes, lift the hips up and back, down dog. If you have the blanket, just keep it there because you're going to need it again. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend the leg and open up the hips. So now the right foot's going off towards the left to open your hips. You can stay in stillness, or if you'd like, you can draw exaggerated circles with that right knee. If you're doing the circles, switch directions. Now we'll all re-extend the right leg and point the toes down. So now the hips are squared off. Inhale here. Exhale, step your right foot forward between the hands. So if it doesn't make it, it's way back here. Use your right hand to just kind of help it along the way. Once again, we're going to use the leverage of the back toes to rock forward and back. Come back to stillness. Lower that back knee, untuck the back toes. Top of the foot down. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up to rise up. Exhale here. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath in. And exhale. Frame your front foot. Plant the hands firmly. Tuck the back toes to lift the back knee. Step back to your downward facing dog, pedaling out the legs and feet. Shake your head loosely, yes and no. And find your way to a still down dog, pushing firmly into your hands. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the leg, foot towards the right this time to open the hips. Try to press equal weight distribution in your hands. And if you're doing the circles on this side too, then go ahead and start those. Switch directions. Re-extend the leg and point those toes down so you square off the hips. You might even feel the leg lower a little bit. Inhale. Exhale, step left foot forward, helping it if it doesn't make it. Come onto your fingertips. So if you tent the fingertips, you won't be kind of sinking down in the chest as much. Rock forward and back again, using those back toes as leverage. Come back to stillness. Lower that back knee and untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep arms forward and up. Take a few breaths here. Next, exhale, frame the front foot, planting the hands, tuck the back toes to lift the back knee. This time, we're going to do a little rock back and forth with that back foot, just so that we can hop that back foot forward. Feet will be hips width distance apart. Let the head and neck release. Your legs don't have to be straight here. Mine are, just because I've been practicing for 14 years. So you don't have to touch your toes either. You can bend the legs as much as you want, and your hands might even be right here right now. That's totally fine. Just let this be your practice. Don't try to make it look like me. Let your belly move freely between your thighs so you can breathe easy. If that's not happening, just widen your feet a little bit. Bend one leg, then the other, maybe even straightening one leg, then the other a little bit, just to kind of get some more movement there. Return to center at stillness. Now bring your hands to the shins or thighs. Inhale, find some length in your spine. Maybe you can come towards straighter legs now. We're going to stay here for a few breaths, so continue to breathe. Feel your shoulders roll down your back as the crown of the head continues to reach forward. Your gaze should be down on the floor, slightly in front of your mat. Now, imagine that somebody's pulling your hips and butt back. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your legs, let your head and neck just hang, arms dangle. Root your feet down, inhale, rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center, then arms along sides, palms forward. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, dive forward, bending as much as you need to in the legs. Inhale, find that half lift again, hands to the shins or the thighs. Exhale, head and neck release. Plant your hands down on the ground, step back to a plank pose, and then hips go up and back, down dog. If you still have your blanket there, use one hand to just kind of toss it off to the side, out of your way. Return back to down dog. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your legs. Now push firmly into the hands. So you're coming into more of a V shape, sending your sits bones up and back. Roll your shoulders down the back. One last breath. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Again, help it if it doesn't make it. Now we'll spin that back foot down. So now the back toes are at about a 45-degree angle, slightly pointing out, slightly pointing forward. Bend into your front leg, still on the fingertips here, don't rise yet. We're going to try and track that front knee directly over your front ankle. Now, imagine that you're pulling your front hip back hip forward. If you're feeling too much going on in that back leg right now, too much of a stretch, then just shorten your stance a little. Now, with all those actions in mind, really push firmly into that front foot. Inhale, rise up, arms reach forward and up. Stay here, warrior one. One more breath in and out. We're going to come into warrior three next. So inhale one more time. Exhale. We'll bring our arms along the sides and hop that back foot up. You might have to come on the toes a couple times to lift that back leg up. Arms can keep reaching back towards the feet, or you can reach the arms forward. Make sure you flex that back foot, and you might even have to lower the leg a little bit so the toes continue to point down. Microbend in the standing leg is totally fine here. Now, keeping the leg up, fingertips come down to the ground. Again, you can always bend your standing leg if that's not happening right away. Otherwise, come into standing splits, lifting that back leg up higher if you can. Maybe you can gaze at the knee now. If you have tons of space like myself, you might even wrap one or both hands around the standing leg, bringing your head closer. Bring all the fingertips back to the ground if you're with me. Inhale. Exhale, bend in the front leg. We're going to lower those back toes, keeping the heel lifted. High lunge. Inhale, rise back up. High lunge. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. We're going to frame the front foot, fingertips to the ground. And now we're going to hop that back foot in a little bit, about halfway. Come onto the tippy toes of the back foot. We're going to do another balancing pose. You can walk your fingertips forward a little bit, about 6 inches or so in front of that front foot. Keep the fingertips at about shoulders width distance apart. Now we'll lift that back leg, and this time we're going to turn the toes out to the left, flexing the foot, pressing through the heel. That way you feel the hips open. You can keep your gaze down on the ground with your left hand on the hip. That's going to be the easiest version of this. If you want to try and test your limits, it's simply the gaze that will challenge your balance. So you can start to look towards the side of the room and then maybe even to the ceiling. Reach that left arm up if you can. If you want to take it even further, like I said, it can be advanced. So if you want to take it even further, that's when you would bend this top leg and reach for the foot with the hand, kicking the foot into the hand. Again, this is intermediate, so maybe you're just right here. Lower the left hand down. Now point those back toes down to the ground, bending in that standing leg. We're going to lower that back foot down again, kind of like high lunge or runner's lunge. Plant your hands down firmly and step back to your down dog. Pedal out legs and feet. You might even kind of come onto the toes and then sink the heels. Just kind of find a little movement here. Okay, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step foot forward. Spin that back heel down at your 45-degree angle in preparation for Warrior One. Don't come up yet, though. I know you're eager. Go ahead and bring that front knee directly over the front ankle first. You don't want it to go past. That's hyperextending and it'll hurt your knee later. So if you need to widen your stance, do that. Pull that front hip back, back hip forward. So now it should feel like the hip crease is in line with the front of your mat. Now push firmly into the front foot, arm sweep over the head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the breath going. Almost time for Warrior Three. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to bring the arms along the sides as we kick off that back foot. Maybe you have to come on the tippy toes first before you get there. But flex that lifted foot. Point the toes down. All right, maybe arms reach forward, maybe they stay along the sides, but try and look directly down on the floor. Not forward, not at your foot. Look directly down. One more inhale. Exhale, fingertips to the floor, bending and standing leg if needed. Now we'll just lift that top leg up. You can even maybe point the toes now rather than flexing. And again, if you want to wrap one or both hands around the standing leg, feel free to do it. Your breath is what's going to keep you going here along with that goal. So maybe see your goal again if things are getting a little heated. Fingertips back to the ground. We'll lower that back foot down. Come back into high lunge. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bring fingertips down again and hop that back foot forward, then up. And now we'll turn the toes out, coming into what's called half moon or Ardha Chandrasana. Maybe hands at the hip with gaze down, maybe arms up. And for the advanced folks, maybe you reach for the foot. Do whatever version suits you. One more inhale. Exhale, fingertips down. We're going to square off the hips, so that's pointing those lifted toes down. Bend a little bit in that front leg. Lower the back toes down, runner's lunge. Plant the hands, step back to your down dog. One more inhale. And exhale. Lower down to the knees now. You can bring your knees as close as you'd like together and feet towards touching. Keep the toes untucked. Sit back onto the heels. Palms face down on the thighs, close the eyes. Take a little mini break, reevaluate where you are, how you're feeling. Has anything changed since you started, mentally, physically, with your breath? Softly open the eyes. And now we'll grab 2 blankets. Sorry, I keep fixing my microphone today. So go ahead and grab those 2 blankets. And you can have them folded, but make sure that the longest edge of your blanket is wider than your hips. You're going to stack both those blankets or towels, if you're using those, right on top of each other. Now roll up that longest side all the way. So now it should be a really thick roll, or ideally fairly thick, like mine. You're going to place that about maybe the center of the mat and slightly back. We'll kind of see how that plays out. Depends on the length of your legs, really. This is going to go underneath your hip crease. So lower down to your belly and track that rolled up blanket underneath your hips. Might have to kind of wiggle around a little bit to find a comfortable placement for it. And now bring your hands underneath your shoulders. The chest can come down. Spread your fingers wide. So what the blanket's going to do here is it's going to help us activate our back muscles and our glutes to bring the tailbone back towards the feet rather than sinking it forward and sticking out your butt. Typically, when I see people doing, or beginners at least, doing cobra pose or up dog, they tend to have the butt kind of tilted upward a little bit and don't really activate the muscles required to come upright. So if you're feeling yourself kind of tilt forward at the front end of your blanket, start squeezing your glutes to send the tailbone back. Now you should even feel like you're rolling back towards the back end of the blanket. Now push the tops of your feet down so you feel your kneecaps kind of come off the ground. They might not come off yet, but eventually they will hover. Now gently push into the palms, but keep your elbows hugged in tight. Keep your gaze directly forward. Next inhale, we're going to start to peel the heart off the floor, still sending the tailbone back towards the heels. You can keep bent arms. You can eventually come to straighter arms. But keep your gaze forward today. Even if you can normally look up, try and look forward today. Continue breathing fluidly. Soften your jaw. One more inhale. Exhale, lower back down. Now press into your hands to bring yourself back to a tabletop-like position to remove your blanket. Come back to tabletop, and this time widen your knees out as wide as the mat. You're welcome to continue to use knee padding if you need to. Bring the big toes towards touching. It's okay if they're just pointing back, but eventually they'll touch. Now push into the hands to send your sits bones back towards the heels, maybe even touching. Walk the hands forward to melt your heart down, forehead down. Take a few rounds of breath, closing the eyes. Let your breath slow down. And if there's anything you wish to let go of from the day, now's a good time to imagine that it's draining out the forehead into the earth. Let it escape the body and mind. Next inhale, come back up. Bring the knees back to hips width. Now cross the shins and sit back onto your bum. If that didn't work out, you can just find your way to your bum. Now we'll extend both legs out in front of us. Feet can be together or hips width, but they're not required to be together. So if the thighs don't allow that, don't worry about it. Now pull flesh away from your sits bones. Pull those glutes away so that you feel nice and rooted to the earth. You should feel those sits bones actually connect with the earth in your seat. Bend your right leg, foot to the ground. Then turn the knee out. The sole of the right foot can be at the knee for now if you don't have much flexibility. If you have lots of flexibility, go ahead and help it to the inner thigh. Now keep those left toes pointing upward. Gentle flexion in the foot, so you're not like flexing too hard and you're not pointing it either. It's kind of in between. That way the toes are pointing straight up. You might even flex once and then relax. Now find that length in the spine again, shoulders down, crown of the head reaching upward. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, lead with your heart towards the knee, and then release the hands. You can drop the head now if you want. Hands can be anywhere they lie. It could be the floor, maybe the leg. For some, it might be the foot. Just find your limit. Close the eyes if they're not already. Reconnect with your breath. Next, inhale, come back up, using your hands to walk yourself up. Exhale when you get there. Use your right hand to help the right foot back to the ground, knee in. Extend the leg. Other side, bending left leg, turning the knee out, and placing the foot wherever's most comfortable for you. Keep those right toes pointing up, so you may even have to flex the foot once. Keep the heel touching the ground, and then relax the foot. Inhale, arms forward and up, shoulders still rolling down the back. Exhale, heart leads the way, fold forward, and then head and neck can finally release. Next, inhale, come back up using your hands to help you. Exhale here. Use your left hand to bring left foot to the ground, knee up. Re-extend the leg, and even lean back into the hands now. Let your legs and feet kind of shake out. You might even kind of shake the feet side to side, but let it be loosey-goosey. Kind of like when you're shaking a pencil with your hand, letting your wrist be loose so the pencil looks like rubber. Try and imagine the same kind of concept with the feet, letting the ankles really relax. So eventually it might feel like your toes are just relaxing completely and maybe even looking like rubber. Come back to stillness. Now we're coming into our final resting pose. So for this one, you'll need your blankets. For the first blanket, you might leave it similar to how it was when we prepared for that rolled up blanket. But this time we're going to only partially roll up the shortest end. So it's going to be a very small roll. It might be 1 or 2 times. It should be super small, like that. Bring that to the back end of your mat with the fringe and the rest of that blanket off towards the side or off to the back. That way it's off your mat. It's only this rolled up part that should be facing the front end of your mat. Grab your second blanket and we'll roll it completely the longest edge. Roll it all the way up. Place that near the front end of your mat, not all the way forward, but kind of like the first third or so of your mat. Come down onto your back and track this front blanket to be placed underneath the backs of your knees when you extend your legs. I like my feet to be wide because then my toes can relax out. But for some people, they like bringing their feet together. There's no right or wrong there. Come down onto your back. And now for this other blanket, this back blanket, you're going to place it right underneath the back of your neck. The idea is that when you sit up, you'll notice that there's a natural curve in the neck. This is going to support that. So when you lie down, you don't want your chin to your chest, and you don't want to be looking up too much either. You want to feel like you're looking straight with a nice lengthened spine. So go ahead and find that, arranging as necessary, folding it or rolling it more if needed. Once you have found a good spot for it, let your eyes close, shoulders melt down. Hands can come to the belly if you'd like to tune your attention inward. Or you can bring the arms along the sides, palms up. In yoga, this is a gesture of receiving. So receiving blessings, receiving the benefits of the practice. Relax all the muscles of your face, jaw, cheeks. With the jaw, you might even sway it side to side a couple of times, or stretch the mouth open to make O's and E's, stretching out the corners of your mouth. Allow the forehead to relax, eyebrows relax, and even the eyes behind your eyelids will relax fully. Typically, if you were in person right now, I'd be giving you a neck massage and a gentle rub on your head. And I'd even rub your temples a little bit. So if you really want to relax, I highly recommend an in-person Shavasana. Come back to your breath since I distracted you. You might come back to the equal count inhales, equal count exhales. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Return small movements to your fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, gently waking up. When you've had enough stretching, roll off to one side to come into your fetal position. You might even use the hands under your head like a little pillow. Now's a good time to say something kind to yourself about yourself. Positive self-talk, such as, I am smart, I am ambitious, I am beautiful. Whatever it is, tell yourself at least one thing and truly, genuinely mean it. Then push into your hands to come up to a seat. Try to move slowly because your parasympathetic nervous system has been activated. Sit upright in any comfortable position. Palms can be down on the knees, or you can bring your hands together at heart center. I usually close with this. The light within me sees and bows to the light within you. Namaste. So I hope you guys enjoyed Power Yoga tonight. This is on Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm over here at 202 East Main Street in Yadkinville. It's a very nice communal space. It's not super big. It's about maybe enough for 10-ish people, give or take. So it'll really feel like personal. And again, I like to personalize all my classes. So if there's something specific that you're not sure about, like maybe you have hallux or something and you can't tuck your toes, then I can definitely work around that. I can help you. I just need to know what's going on first, and then I will make sure you're still included. I'm not going to just make you sit out everything. I want you to be included too and get the benefits. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys later. Bye.